What's up, Dunwoody? Welcome back to the podcast. It's all about Dunwoody, Georgia. These two guys are from Dunwoody. A show is brought to you by Village Orthodontics, Dr. Brett Friedman. You guys got kids?
We do.
We do.
Are they old enough to have braces?
Not yet.
No, mine's 3 months. Might be a little off before we get there.
Okay. Well, my kids' teeth are jacked up, and so Brett's already working on those. So one day you guys can bring your kids to Village Orthodontics because you're right down the road from them, right, Glenn?
I can walk there, yeah. So that's I guess I can walk to get braces at some point.
Yeah, that's why I always heard of you at Porter. All right. Well, tell us the story. Where'd you guys meet? How did all of this start?
Patrick, you want to talk
like
about
it was like a side hustle that you've turned into a big.
Well, Patrick's going to tell you about our first date first, and then
Sure. So I met Clinton at the famous Atlanta Falcons Super Bowl collapse. Was at a party at his place. Was working a job where I traveled nonstop all the time. About a year and a half after that, I realized I didn't know anybody in Atlanta. I had moved here 3 years before that. So I called him up and asked him out on a date. We went and ate some hot chicken. So that's how this friendship struck up. I realized he had some bourbon in his house. I loved the bourbon. And we started going to lunches and hanging out, and then we just started drinking bourbon together.
Nice.
Yeah,
what a memorable night. A memorable night to meet each other. I had a big party on that Super Bowl collapse too. And people think that I was the problem. They were like, oh yeah, I went to your stupid party for the stupid game. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And then the whole Short Barrel side started. So Short Barrel originally was a picking group. So when I say picking group, we actually traveled the United States. I've been to Mexico and a few other locations too. We would travel with the store up north. We would just pick barrels for them. So we would actually go to distilleries. Distilleries would have single barrels lined up for us. They would pour us samples and be like, that one's really good. That one sucks. Then we would so we would buy a barrel. It would get bottled for the store. It would get taken to the store roughly a few months later. And then people kind of just followed our palates around and said, wow, these guys know what we're doing. And we happened to be on one of those picks in 2020. It was a Sunday. We were in Louisville, and there was nothing really open. We literally stumbled into a bar. Met a barrel broker that sells whiskey for a living and basically said, hey, you guys are cool. If you ever want to start your own whiskey company, I can help you. And we thought he was joking. And I said, yeah, sure. Call me tomorrow. After lots of heavy drinking, he called. I was really hungover on a Monday. He called. We texted Adam, said, hey, we have this ability to do this. Do you want to do this? And he thought we were kidding too. A couple of days later, we wired said barrel broker $30,000, and we started a whiskey company, and then tried to figure everything else out as we went along. And 9 months later, we were on shelves in Georgia.
That's cool. So you were just talented taste buds. That's where it all started.
Pretty much. I mean, that's kind of what it was. We always joke around, and I'll throw some bigger names out here, but Eagle Rare. I think we're one of the only people that have ever turned down 10 barrels of Eagle Rare. Finally, so crazy that Buffalo Trace got so mad at us. We kept saying no. That they kind of opened their vault, and they ended up submitting their barrel of Eagle Rare that we had picked for Whiskey of the Year, and it was runner-up. So that's kind of where a lot of things started, kind of as the name Short Barrels kind of went along, and things got a little crazy from there.
Very cool, very cool. And who's the third? What's his name? Adam?
So yeah, it's Adam Dorfman. He's actually, he's pretty well known in Dunwoody too, and he couldn't make it this morning, but he lived in Dunwoody. Lived in Dunwoody growing up, and went to Dunwoody High School and a few other places. So he's definitely, this thing literally happened on the corner of Chambly, Dunwoody Road and Harris Circle in the backyard of Adam's backyard during COVID.
Very cool, very cool. And then where did Old Fourth Ward come in?
So we acquired Old Fourth in February of this year, but I'll let Patrick talk about that.
Yeah, so we were all up in Adam's office when we got the news that Old Fourth was selling. And we just kind of passed it off at first of, that's a competitor of ours in the market that was selling. And we started looking at what they were selling. We started looking at the company more, started digging in a little bit, and realized that this might be something that we're pretty interested in. They were selling a bunch of barrels, a bunch of equipment, obviously a distillery. We sat down, we met with a small investment group, our wives, and said, are we going to do this? Signed an LOI, and from there it took us, what was it, Clinton, 6-7 months before the deal was finalized.
6 months.
But our pitch to the old owners of Old Fourth was, you started Atlanta's first distillery since Prohibition. It was two brothers that started this. We're going to carry the torch of the brand and continue this brand and grow this brand. we're not just going to shut it down and sell it off for parts. So we really pitched to them that, we're going to carry the torch of your brand, of your legacy moving forward, and we're going to build it into something bigger than you ever imagined. That's our goal for this. So that was the story of Old Fourth. We've only had the reins for 2-3 months now, 2 months now. And there's a lot of plans in the works right now. So, both of us are really, really excited for where Old Fourth is going to go.
Yeah, that's really cool because those brothers probably put a lot of work into that, and I'm sure that they wanted to see it continue like that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things they were very honest in the things. There was much higher offers on the brand and, the equipment. It was a very lucrative deal, that's for sure. And we made the promise to them that we're going to keep this going. We actually kept 2 of their awesome employees, Kim and Amanda. They're now with us. They're our full-time salespeople. They're actually our first hires. Patrick, Ab, and I were never considered full-time employees. Patrick is now full-time, so we have 3 full-time employees. I still work full-time outside of this, but we've kind of grown this thing and to bring them on and to do everything else. It's been crazy. And as we were kind of talking a little bit ago, we're taking Old Fourth back to its roots. Old Fourth never really lost who they were, but they kind of just needed a new vision and a new spark. So we have the original gin recipe, the original vodka recipe, really have redone the whiskey to something we're very proud of. And as of today, like I said, I just saw a text come through. We're in barrel. We are literally something to celebrate. If we could all cheers together, we would right now.
Yeah.
But there is now an official Atlanta-made Old Fourth whiskey in barrel in Georgia for the first time ever. So it's something really cool that we can officially say in 4 years, we might have the biggest party Dunwoody's ever seen when it comes to whiskey. That's for sure.
There you go. I'm glad to say that I was a part of it. I was here.
You were literally. I just watched.
I remember that day.
It is a big. I actually have goosebumps right now. So to actually say that we're doing this thing and what we've been able to do just in a short time frame of 2 months has been pretty crazy, especially with a 3-month-old at home. Patrick navigating the banking world. Patrick worked in finance as SVP was collapsing a few weeks ago. Patrick was knee deep in all of that stuff too. So we are definitely a very hands-on company, and we're always going to be that way.
That's really cool. Well, everybody's looking for so you're shutting down, or they're already shut down, the Old Fourth Ward. And where are you moving it to? Somewhere in Norcross?
Yeah, so we're the old partners shut down the Boulder Crest and Edgewood locations. That was part of the sale. Buildings weren't part of the sale. Neither was the land. So we're moving both brands up to 85 and Jimmy Carter. So we have a warehouse up there, about 10,000 square feet. So both brands are going to be operating out of one space. We'll have all of our bottling lines, all of our barrels. We'll have a small tasting room. Our offices will actually be up there, and we're just going to be throwing events up there. The distillery is going to be invite only to start until we can get everything moved in, settled in, and figure out how we want this to look, feel, and operate. And then, we're just going to start inviting people up, and then it's going to be a free-for-all.
There you go. That'll be cool too. And you've grown this thing so fast. What's the one in Chambly? What does that have to do with it? What is it called? The Modern Art, Distillery Modern Art?
Yeah, so Distillery Modern Art, they actually have been incredible partners for us to go out and launch a distillery or bottling lines. You're looking at millions of dollars in capital. They have been nothing but amazing to us. They're actually distilling our whiskey for us right now. If you follow both brands on social media, you'll probably see an awesome bottling line or us working the bottling line. They're allowing us to basically come in, kind of rent their space for the day, and now their stills as we're producing. They're awesome. They have a great tasting room. I definitely highly recommend everybody checking them out. Can't taste our whiskey or anything in there, but they have their own great lines too that we're super proud to be their partners as well.
Okay, nice. Where can you taste your whiskey or bourbon?
Well, you'll probably usually see Patrick and I always at the barn.
Yeah.
One thing I say is people were like, "Oh, Shortbarrel, I've seen their name, and you've actually probably had our whiskey." David and Sam and Mitch and Alex and everybody over the barn has been a fan since day one of ours. We're in cocktails. You can try stuff over there. We actually usually do a lot of R&D at the barn too. Patrick and I have maybe been known to show up with a bottle or two that are not marketed and sit down on the table outside and let people try some stuff. So you'll usually see one of us up there. We usually both look like this. We don't actually usually opposite like this, but this is but we're always up there. And then Porter, Porter has been with us since day one. Porter is actually the first place that we walked into and pitched our whiskey that wasn't even available on market yet.
Greg Gordon was a big fan of y'all's.
Greg's
awesome.
awesome.
Still talk to him quite a bit. Had lunch with him. Yeah, had lunch with him recently. And then Tobias, we're in Dunwoody, Dunwoody Village, Dunwoody Beverage. We're at Perimeter Bottle Shop. We're pretty much Winery 2 on the other side of 285 carries us. If you really want to get crazy, Total Tower Green. We're about 500 stores on the Short Barrel side. If you combine both brands, well over 1,000 stores in Georgia. If you want to ship us online, come to our website. You can buy directly from us. We ship to 46 states. We're finding a lot of people actually buying and sending to bourbon friends across the country, and it's been really fun to watch us grow there too.
Nice. Can you actually get it cheaper on your website? Because you're not having to go through everybody, or
so it's still the same.
Getting taxed.
It's still getting taxed. We actually don't ship it. We ship through a third party that still takes their cut too. But it's just nice that we're able to say we ship to 46 states, which is it's the same fulfillment that you guys have probably, if anybody here is an alcohol fan, Caskers, Reserve Bar, it's the same fulfillment that come out of there. So it's not like we're shipping to some shady spot in Texas. It's a legit operation there.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. And so you guys are going to be at Burger Benefit. I put that podcast out this morning. Billy's really excited about that. You going to make it the whole day?
I'm gonna try. We'll see what my 3-month-old has to say about that. There might be some interchanging, but no, I'm actually gonna meet Billy here in a little bit. We're gonna do some social media. You guys might see some burgers balanced on top of whiskey and vodka bottles and other stuff. Really excited to work with him. Billy's been one of our biggest fans since he kind of got to know us here in Dunwoody. And Patrick, we've spent some fun times with Billy too that we don't really remember sometimes.
We spent some fun times, some long nights, hanging out behind a gas station. Like my wife always laughs at me, like, where have you been? I've been behind the gas station with Billy, just hanging out, just smoking meat, grilling burgers.
Well, it's funny. He's going to have these people come from all over the country, and they're going to show up at his Chevron and be like, what the heck is going on? Like, this is where you make these gourmet burgers from?
Yeah,
Atlanta's best burgers.
Yeah. I wouldn't even say it's Atlanta's best. It's got to be the South best at this point. I mean, I feel like every time I go there, that grill keeps getting more and more seasoned. They keep getting better and better.
Yeah. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, what other events you guys have upcoming? Like some stuff for the summer?
Yeah, we pretty much have events every week at this point, but the big one's coming up, a new venue called Alcohol down at Pullman Yards. So we'll have a stall. We'll have both brands there pretty much all summer, Old Fourth and the Short Barrel side. We're going to be doing some really, really fun stuff down there. We're going to be trying out some recipes, some new cocktails. We even might have some new labels dropping out there. They're going to be exclusive to the Pullman Yards area. But that's really going to let us get back to like the Old Fourth area, back to where the distillery started on that side. So that'll give us a location down there for probably the next 4 or 5 months, and we'll probably be down there at least a couple times a month. So we have a couple of events scheduled down there, but the rest of the city we have events with Billy. Any festival that's coming up, we are constantly at charity events, and we are constantly just out in the market at restaurants, bars. Sitting down, having drinks, and sharing our story.
Yeah, if you have a dog anywhere in Atlanta and you've ever been to Fetch Dog Park, also there's 5 locations kind of spread out across Georgia now. There's an exclusive whiskey there, and it's actually on shelves too called Bark Batch. We actually make that. Has a dog on the front. We donate $1 per bottle to non-kill animal shelters around the city. So we're kind of scattered all throughout the city at this point.
Yeah. Well, nice. You put all this stuff on social media?
Yep, everything's on social media. Yes, at Short Barrel Whiskey on Instagram, Old Fourth Distillery on Instagram, shortbarrelbourbon.com, and o4d.com. Everything's going to be posted up there.
Nice. I love seeing these Dunwoody upstarts. You guys are very similar to Billy, really.
Yeah, we just don't have his awesome food. I was actually the guy that at the recent arts event that bought Billy's private dinner. So
I heard about that. Alan said, yeah.
So I just literally stood there and was like, I'm not losing this thing because I need Billy to come to our warehouse and cook. So anybody that was trying to bid, I'm sorry, I will not do that next year. But I needed some marketing with Billy, so I do apologize for my antiques that day.
Alan said you just stood up with your sign.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm 6'4", 310 pounds. I'm not a small individual, so I think people are just like, well, I'm not going to go up against this guy at this point.
I don't want to see him afterwards.
No, we're good.
Well, very cool. Anything else you guys want to mention?
No, thanks. I'd say the biggest thing is thanks for Dunwoody. I think a lot of people, we've been to a lot of events, and it's pretty cool to see people walk up to us. We have poker chips that we give out. that have all our information, and to watch people walk up and say, still have your poker chips, still everything we're building. Dunwoody, if you ever want to host a whiskey tasting or know more, just reach out to us. You're going to get one of us. You're not going to get a brand rep. We are the owners of the brand. We're not going anywhere, and just love that how much Dunwoody has supported us without realizing how much they've actually supported us, and it's only going to get better and better. And you'll definitely, hopefully by 24, early 25, you might even see a tasting room directly built in Dunwoody or Central Perimeter that will that house both brands. That's a huge goal for us.
Heck yeah. Well, nice. Well, thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for taking time for us. And everybody likes to shop small. They like to go with the local brands. So
yep.
Very good way to do it.
Appreciate you. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks, guys.